Handing off your life's work is a heavy moment. In the California lower middle market, over half, about 56% of all business sales right now are driven by owners who are finally ready to retire. But there is a trap here. Motivated sellers routinely underestimate the actual calendar time it takes to execute a clean exit. Sellers are often feeling burned out and operating on emotion. They want out now. Buyers, however, are running cold, calculated spreadsheets. When you confuse your personal readiness to retire with your business's actual readiness to be sold, you create a gap that destroys your leverage and ultimately your final payout. You might assume you can list your business and cash out in 90 days. It is a common myth. This diagram shows that 90-day myth compared to reality. On the left, the assumption of a quick 3-month sprint actually carries a 30 to 40% failure rate. On the right, the reality, a structured 8 to 24-month timeline that protects your maximum valuation. If you try to save time by skipping the heavy lifting early on, your leverage gets crushed exactly when it matters most. Zooming out reveals the massive block of work that has to happen before you ever hit the list on market milestone. It requires preparation, marketing, a letter of intent, due diligence, and closing. The M&A timeline is the structural backbone of your retirement plan. Operating with false urgency shifts the leverage to the buyer, often forcing price concessions that could have been avoided with proper lead time. Let's map the invisible deal phase, 12 to 24 months before engaging buyers. Here, you get a professional valuation, recast financials to show true owner benefit, and document operating procedures. This establishes a firm, defensible price based entirely on hard math. There is a direct trade-off here. Committing to this PEP phase delays your market debut, and it requires paying advisory fees before you ever see a buyer's check. But if you guess what your company is worth to save a few months or a few $1,000s, you instantly invite buyers to pick your price apart. Investing that capital and time up front removes the common friction points that buyers use to justify price drops later. You address their objections before they even sit down at the table. Once your foundation is solid, you transition to active marketing, pitching the business confidentially to a vetted pool of strategic buyers. This leads to the letter of intent phase. The most common mistake here is jumping at the very first aggressive offer you receive. Signing an LOI without thorough vetting freezes your operation. You grant that buyer exclusivity for 60 to 90 days, putting other parties on ice. If they back out, the deal dies. Your business returns to the market, but carrying the stigma of damaged goods. Rushing to sign an LOI might feel like rapid progress, but you are risking your deal momentum and courting a total restart. Welcome to due diligence. This is the most dangerous and adversarial phase of the entire process. From the buyer's perspective, this is a strict risk assessment exercise. They deploy forensic accountants and lawyers to run unforgiving, highly structured investigations into your books. If you are an unprepared seller, this feels like an attack. You experience emotional fatigue, you get defensive, and you rapidly lose your negotiation leverage. This is exactly why 30 to 40 SBA financing, environmental reviews, or specific license transfers automatically extend timelines. These complexities create disagreements over future performance. To bridge this valuation gap, buyers introduce earnouts, tying a portion of your payout to post-sale revenue. The trade-off is real. Earnouts introduce layers of legal complexity and require you to trust the new owner's competence. But they efficiently save contested deals from dying at the finish line. External delays are inevitable. Because of that, early pre-sale preparation is necessary if you want to absorb these bumps without blowing up the deal. Take a hard look at your own operation right now. Are you the urgent seller? You are burned out. You want out immediately, but you lack clean financials or a documented management team to run things without you. If that is you, your mandatory path is to pause. Do not list the business yet. Hire an M&A advisor and fix the structural foundation first. Postponing your retirement by a year is painful, but it is the only way to protect a lifetime of financial work from a catastrophe during due diligence. For the urgent, unprepared seller, actively delaying your market launch is, paradoxically, your most effective risk mitigation strategy. Or are you the strategic retiree? You already have clean books, you have resolved any lease issues, and your operational processes run without your direct input. This diagram maps your path. You can enter the market immediately through a structured, competitive process. You will still endure 60 to 90 days of intense post-LOI scrutiny, but you will navigate it from a position of absolute strength. The process is rigid, but the outcome is entirely within your control if you respect the timeline. The business owners who close fastest never rush the market. They are the ones whose preparation leaves the buyer with zero surprises.